Hi, my name is Cameron, and we're going to be continuing our talk on diseases, specifically today about non-communicable diseases. We'll be looking at cancer, smoking, your diet and exercise, as well as alcohol. So when it comes to non-communicable diseases, we went through communicable, meaning infectious, needing a community of people. Our non-communicable diseases are non-infectious and usually due to our own cells being unhealthy or damaged. And this can include something like allergies, genetic disorders, or cancers. So what is a correlation? This is something we would usually use for these non-communicable diseases as a causal mechanism is something that has been shown to cause a certain disease or a certain ailment. Okay, we call it a causal mechanism. So a demonstrated link between two things such as smoking, tobacco, and causing lung cancer. Okay, now a correlation, on the other hand, is when they have a relationship with one another, but there's no evidence that they cause one another, such as ice cream sales and shark attacks. Okay, they have nothing to do with one another, but for some reason both of them will increase together. Okay, now that does not mean ice cream sales are causal mechanism to shark attacks, but there is a correlation. Whereas when it comes to smoking, there is a causal mechanism between that and lung cancer. So what can cause non-communicable diseases? Well, most of the time it's lifestyle aspects, such as your diet, how much exercise you get, if you smoke, if you drink alcohol, as well as other environmental effects, such as UV or ionizing radiation. So how much light you'll...
Otherwise, call the dealerships as well.
Well, that's what I said,
They
yeah.
only have newer cars.
Exactly, and then I don't have to deal with flippin' scallums that are changing the mileage on their flippin' cars.
That would be
sketchy shit, man. Exactly.
Because also then you can be like, oh yeah, but it looks fine. If someone does a proper check and then you own the car, you get screwed.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
Yeah, exactly. Cars 24, okay, because I've just been looking on Dubizzle and...
Yeah, Cars 24, or also if you just call up like Mitsubishi
that's
or
what I thought.
Toyota and you're like, the car looks like one car.
This is my budget.
They can't accept cars that are older than a certain age. If you're like, look, I want finance, how can I get that? They'll be able to speak you through it. I've never done anything through finance. So I call like Mitsubishi and Toyota and stuff.
Yeah.
Reasonable cars and things like that.
Okay. Also, then they'll be checked and like whatever they tell you is that, and they're not going to sell you something with no AC.
You get like, you should get a service package with them. If
Oh,
you
cool,
like
man.
that as well. So it's like 10,000 kilometers, you take it back to them.
Well, service.
I'll say up to 100,000 kilometers, you get a service here or whatever it is. Which stops the longevity as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, sell it. I'll check it out.
Slip my
Yes. Okay, definitely will. So when it comes to cancer, okay, cancer are rapidly dividing cells that are your own cells. Okay, they're your cells that have gone through a mutation that has either cut out, there's many different types of cancer, different types of mutations, okay, but basically the part of the cell that controls cell division has been damaged or changed so that it's uncontrolled cell division. Okay, now this can either be one of two types, benign or malignant. Now benign cancer is something like a wart. Okay, it's isolated, it's not spreading, it's just something on your skin, you can get it removed easily. It's still cancerous because there is cells dividing for no reason, okay, but it doesn't spread. You then can get malignant cancer. Now malignant cancer is cancer that is situated in a certain area where it shouldn't be, okay, or something that can then spread throughout the body, okay. So some of the treatments that you can use for cancer are radiotherapy and chemotherapy. So chemotherapy stops all fast replicating cells from dividing, okay, and this is why people lose their hair, because their hair cells are also fast dividing cells like the cancer. So that'll put an end to all of those cells dividing, okay. whereas radiotherapy is more targeted doses of radiation on a certain area. You can see here with this linear accelerator machine, this is how they target certain areas with radiotherapy, which is radiation. Okay. And yeah, the mutations to your cell can be caused by carcinogens or environmental impacts such as the UV and ionizing radiation, X-rays. Okay, and these are going to penetrate your skin and damage your chromosomes. And that damage to chromosomes is usually caught by the body and the proofreading sort of parts of the cell, but sometimes it gets through and then that cell will divide and the next cell will have the same mutation, leading to a cancerous growth. Another cause of cancer, as well as other problems in the body, comes from smoking. Okay, now the issue is with smoking, it is highly addictive due to the nicotine within the cigarette. Okay, and the nicotine itself doesn't cause much damage, although you can get nicotine poisoning if you ingest too much. It is the tar, mainly from the tobacco leaves, that will cause damage in your lungs. It will clog alveoli, which are the very small air sacs in your lungs. Okay, and also contains a lot of carcinogens, other chemicals in the cigarette that will keep it burning for longer, or chemicals in the paper to make it white. Okay, these chemicals can lead to lung cancer. Yeah, and other than the fact that it is inhaling smoke, so you're not just inhaling nicotine and tar and the other chemicals found in it, you're inhaling quite a lot of carbon monoxide. Okay, and carbon monoxide will give you that lightheaded feeling, but it can also be very damaging to your body cells. Okay, as it takes up space in your red blood cells that should go to oxygen. Okay, so it also leads to narrowing blood vessels, as well as heart disease, and can lead to lung cancer and tongue cancer as well, mouth cancer. In general, smoking is just not good for you. It is a highly carcinogenic habit. So something that you can do to improve your health and to prevent these heart diseases, lung diseases, is your general diet and your exercise. Okay, this is something that can also be mistreated and not thought about enough, and this can cause obesity, which will then lead to many other health issues, okay, such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and it can in general just deteriorate your body. Okay, now how does someone get obese? Okay, so as we eat food to gain this energy. Okay, now if we do not use that energy, our body has an ingenious way of storing it for later, because maybe we might need it later. Okay, but if we still do not exercise, that storage of energy is going to increase more and more and more, and it increases in the form of fat. Okay, now this fat doesn't only weigh on your body and take your nutrients to survive. Okay, it is also going to lead to a higher cholesterol in your blood, which can clog arteries. Okay, this can also lead to diabetes, which is an excess amount of glucose in your blood. Okay, so as well as high blood pressure as your arteries get more and more clogged. So the amount of exercise you do will lessen the chances of this coronary heart disease, and in general make you more fit and your muscles a lot more active, so they won't be storing as much fat. And finally, the consumption of alcohol can also lead to many non-communicable diseases. Okay, alcohol is a poisonous substance, which why it gives us this narcotic effect, because it is actually our body trying to get rid of this poison. Luckily, we have a liver that is able to filter it out of our blood. Okay, but excessive alcohol use is going to lead to a damaged liver. Okay, so it passes through the blood and the body tissue, impeding function and reflexes. So the speed at which your nerves are going to work and your brain is going to receive signals is going to be lessened. okay, when you are drinking alcohol. It can also lead, as I said, to liver damage, cirrhosis, and liver cancer, okay, and can also lead to long-term damage of the brain if excessive alcohol is drunk. This will lower your brain function and in general make you a slower person to execute simple functioning, okay. So obviously as well, when it comes to being pregnant, anything that the mother ingests will affect the fetus. Okay, so if the mother is ingesting alcohol, it is going to lead to a damage of the fetus's brain and the fetus's liver, as it is still developing and should only be getting water. Okay, and now you are giving it alcohol, it's going to lead to damage. As well as miscarriages, low birth weight, premature births. Okay, so my name is Cameron, and this has been Non-Communicable Diseases, and I'll see you in the next lesson.